Yeah, it was, I had, so.
It is Sunday.
Well, either, just vote today. Not tomorrow. But get out, if you haven't voted already, some people like to vote by mail. You probably know some people, maybe it's you. And I don't know why anybody would still have the ballot at home. I mean, don't wait, open the ballot, fill it out from top to bottom Republican, seal it, sign it, mail it in, make sure that it counts. And I wouldn't skip any of the races. I mean, all these races are important. State representative, state senator, county commission, all of them. You got to wait because they're all important. We need good people in every one of those positions. Just because all the attention is paid on the presidential race and a little bit of it, whatever's left over to the Senate race, doesn't mean these other races don't matter. They matter a lot. We need good people that believe in the Constitution in every one of these offices. And when it comes to the Senate race, I get it. We're not the top of the ticket. Everybody's talking about Donald and talking about Hillary and under FBI investigation. It's amazing. It's amazing. You have to have a president under FBI investigation. But the Senate race matters too, because if we can't win Florida, we can't keep our majority. If we can't keep our majority, that means Chuck Schumer becomes the majority leader. And let me tell you what that means. Okay, that means that by 51 votes, because he'll change the rules. He'll do that nuclear option. They'll change the rules. And now with 51 votes, he's going to be getting to pick or deciding what kind of people he's going to allow on the Supreme Court. We have a vacancy now. And let me tell you guys something, the Supreme Court, if you lose the Supreme Court, you lose it for a quarter century. And that means you're going to have a 5-4 majority on that court interpreting the Constitution in a way that none of us agree with. You see, they think the Constitution's a living and breathing document. They think it means whatever they want it to mean. So if they believe in something, they'll figure out a way to interpret the Constitution to justify whatever it is they believe in, because they think they're policymakers. That's not the job of the court. The job of the court is to apply the Constitution according to its original meaning. If you want to change the Constitution, you go through the amendment process. But you don't do it through the court. But that's what they think. And that's what's at stake here. And here's why that's so important. Because this country can survive a bad president. Maybe not too many in a row, but it can survive. If you have a bad law, you can change a bad law. You lose the Constitution, you can't get it back. Once that is set in stone and that interpretation is in place, you can't get it back. And if you lose the Constitution, none of these other issues matter. They really don't. It is the Constitution that has kept this republic alive for over 200 and some odd years. It is the Constitution that so many people have been willing to put on the uniform of this country and defend. It is the Constitution that we take an oath to protect, defend, and uphold. And that's why the Senate race is so critical. And that's why we need you to keep doing what you're doing. So in addition to voting and making sure you vote, we ask you to continue to be activists. This is one of our most active offices in the state. This is my second time in this space. And every time I come, there's always a lot of activity. We see the numbers every other night about the calls and the door knocks being made. It has to happen. Look, if we don't win big here, we're in a lot of trouble. We have to win big here to kind of offset some of the losses we know we're going to have in some different places. And so we're just here. I just came really to thank you. We've been in 3 other counties today. We got one more to go. We got to get down to Osceola. But I wanted to stop and thank you guys for what you are doing and what you're going to do. And I promise you, we're going to continue to work hard. We're going to continue to hit all the places we need to get to. We've got 4 more days of campaigning ahead of us. And if you do your part, you keep making the calls, you keep knocking on the doors, you keep turning out the vote, we're going to do our part. And here's what's going to happen on Tuesday night. We're going to win from the top to the bottom. We're going to win. We can finally begin to undo the damage of 8 years of Barack Obama. And we can begin to bring the rule of law back to this country. We can begin to protect the Constitution. We can make sure we have the Supreme Court that will do that. And we can begin the hard but necessary work of restoring the greatness of this country so we can leave for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren what they deserve to inherit, what we inherited. The greatest nation in the history of all mankind. Thank you. Keep working. We'll keep working. We're going to win.